Hi, my name is William Ziada, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and also proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to speak with a Renaissance man. He is a subconscious specialist, an interpreter, a rapper, a consultant, a life coach, the one, the only, CUE Reaves. For more on CUE, you can read more about him right below this video. But in the meantime, here is my interview with the amazing CUE Reaves. Well, hello, CUE. How are you?
Peace, peace, peace. How you living?
CUE, I'm doing so well and so much better now that I'm getting to speak with you because I just absolutely love what you do. I think obviously not only is it a specific skill set that you have, but also a sense of healing that you get to provide people, because although it says you're a subconscious specialist, you're more than that. You're an interpreter, you're a consultant, you're a life coach, you have audio and ebooks out there. But I want to start from the beginning, CUE.
Okay.
Where did you grow up and when did you realize that you had this interest, but also this special gift to use the mind to help heal?
Okay. I would say two different experiences happened. One as a youth, one as an adult. And I guess I realized the importance of listening to oneself. About 8 years old, I was given the task of cleaning up the place I lived. It was a two-bedroom apartment, and it was myself, my sister, and my father. And we all lived in this two-bedroom apartment. My sister goes off to a boarding high school. So now it's just me and my dad. Nevertheless, men are not the cleanest individuals. So laundry sometimes overfilled, dishes in the sink, sweep, mop, etc., etc. So I cleaned up the whole house. And I get a page. I know I was a young kid with the pager, but I get a page from my dad. So I end up going to a phone, calling him, and he's angry about this remote situation. He can't find the remote. And I'm like, it's, right by the television. I can't find it. And I kind of hear like shatter and noise in the background. And I'm just like, oh boy, it sounds like he's really messing up what I just cleaned up. But I didn't take it personal. I actually didn't even think about it. I enjoyed my moment. I think I was at like a birthday party. I think I was at like a kid's birthday, one of my one of my fellow classmates' birthday party. Nevertheless, I get home and I look around and I didn't want to argue. I didn't see the purpose of arguing. It was like, just clean it up. I'm like thinking to myself, and I'm like, just clean it up. I'm like, no, I just cleaned it up. I'm angry. I want to yell. I want to put all my emotions towards my father. But at the end of the day, it said, all that is fine. But you still going to have to clean it up. That's you said this is your job. You're willing to clean the house on a weekly level. So at the end of the day, there's no one else's responsibility but yours to clean it up. Now that like stuck with me for a long time. Like, why am I responsible for cleaning up? And that message hit me, but I didn't know it hit him until I was probably about 12 and he was on the phone with my uncle and he was saying, man, that's nothing. He was like, the craziest experience I ever had was when I destroyed the house and my son came home, saw it, and he didn't even say anything. He didn't argue. He said, you know what it made me feel like? The crazy thing is he's a unemotional man. So I never knew he paid attention to what I did. So that was confirmation later on. That was years later that lesson still continued. So as a child, I always saw that adults, oddly enough, have certain things that need to be cleaned up. And at times you need to be a child. At times you need to listen. At times you need to learn. But there are times that you may want to offer additional support.
CUE, I think that's absolutely amazing that you had those instincts as a kid, but also it makes me think about as adults, I don't think both of us live in this space because I feel like we both are people at play. I have my own kind of, call it woo-woo, instinctual, psychic. I'm a twin. People have always thought I could see things. We'll get into that some other time when you consult me, okay? But what I do love, Q, is this whole notion that I feel like adults, many adults, lose that sense of kid. And with that, they lose that instinct. Because in a world where we're told and to have preconceived notions and that there's a clarity with you, that you have almost like a through line with mind, heart, soul, spirit, whatnot, in that you're able to help others find that clarity. And then that, and the fact that you not only do it, but it's your business.
And that's what leads into what happened as an adult. So there's no reason to name specific organizations or individuals, but as I started to come into my awareness, it happened to a convergence of synchronicities, just so many different things adding up to like something speaking to me, but it wasn't speaking like text message. It wasn't speaking like a phone call. It was speaking like a script in a movie. And you're like tapping into aspects of the director's mind at times, but then the roles as well. It things seemed as if it was communicating directly to me.
So,
and
Q,
instead
question. Because I'm a director, but I also am kind of like visualizing what you're feeling. Did you find that as an adult, you were actually taking on the role of a vessel, where at times you were not only your POV, but you took the POV of that person and you were able to almost play two at once?
Well, here comes the very interesting connection, and I'm so happy to talk to you about that. So I went into what some would call a QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique. And I was introduced to a plant, a sage known as Salvia devonarum, and it opened up my eyes to an inner world per se. But after that experience, I've never been one to be submissive to, I have to have a substance to put me there. There has to be some other modality, or maybe that was just an introduction. That was a breadcrumb per se. So instead of me eating the whole cake, I was sufficient with just that breadcrumb and going on my own journey and exploring what that looks like for myself. Let me bake my own pie. So I kind of stepped into quantum healing because it was the closest modality to interlocking or understanding or understanding. So after that, I was kind of confirmed that I have connected with the soul of my brother. So before I was born, my mother got into a car accident and lost a son. And it happened maybe about 15 months from me being born, because he was maybe about 5 months old. So nevertheless, they got the ball rolling. I don't know the exact measures, but maybe let's say 2 years. I was born within the time that happened. Maybe that happened in 84. I was born in 86. So I've always kind of felt, someone call it twin syndrome, but it's not a twin because
oh my gosh, I cannot believe you're talking about this. I apologize for interrupting. First and foremost,
you're great. No.
Thank you for sharing and being vulnerable. But also, like, before we even got on this call, I'm not like playing woo-woo with you. Like, I'm being totally up. Like, I literally felt that you were going to be speaking about something of this nature, that you were born with a soul on your heart, in that there was a soul not of this realm that was going to help guide you to make a living, but to also have like another say or POV, that you literally had another POV on your heart.
Yes. And what that POV explains in the most simplistic form is, it's not always about you. And we perceive this reality with this ideology that it is my experience. But who's to say that it's just your experience?
That's right.
And then that has led into the understanding that we potentially hold into ancestral consciousness. And now we're allowing them to experience certain things through us. So
Oh,
once again, who is it to say it's just about you? You are liable or responsible for potential worlds, for potential continuums. You know, you are a literal Stargate. You are a Stargate continuum. This is a real terminology. You are the sci-fi. And the more we get into seeing what that can look like in our reality, I know we have the tendency to turn off an idea. And I say that's the wrong form. It is to turn off the idea when the idea no longer manifests, presents, or serves your reality. But if you never give it an opportunity to see if it's in your reality,
that's
if it can
right.
serve or hurt, then you never have that opportunity to explore that reality, that additional information that you yourself, or the idea you consider yourself, you wasn't aware of.
You know
So it's
what's
kind of,
no,
no, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, it's just kind of allowing you to perceive a layered multiverse. And this is a
Amen.
world that is not this is a world that's within a world, but literally it's a world within a world.
And you know, it makes me think too, Q, and I'm sure you've realized this through not only your own journey, but when you speak to clients of yours, that we as humans are almost programmed to be afraid of the unknown. And that actually it's within that unknown that could lock a light that may have been dimmed by our childhood, by society, by our own preconceived notion. Oh, if we can't see it, it doesn't exist. And
Yeah.
Q, look at, I could speak with you forever about this, but what I will say is this. You are a singular talent, my friend. And I don't mean that in a way like, you know, a singer can sing, a musician can play. You have a talent since you were a young kid of going after your light and your instinct. And the fact that now you get to do it as a vessel to help others heal and find their light is remarkable. And you know, I just want to tell everyone watching that for more on Q Reeves, you can look more about him right below this video. And Q, God bless you, and thank you for like
Thank
what
you.
you do.
Yeah, thank you. It's a an ongoing calling, meaning that I'm still receiving guidance, information, additional support to what it is. So it's a journey that the roads continue. So it's kind of like as soon as you think you got to the wizard says, "Hey, there's another road."
Well, it's so funny that you mentioned that too, my friend. And to button this conversation, it's like I kind of look at you as like the body of an octopus, and like you
Mm,
have all these tentacles that like you are feeling at times. No, I'm more than just a one-on-one with someone. I am an interpreter. I can consult with them. I can give speeches about this. I mean, frankly, for me, with my director hat on, literally and figuratively, I could see you having your own show, your own
mm,
your own talk show, because there's no one else who is doing what you're doing. In you know, nothing against like the Long Island mediums of the world, or you know, the medium on E. You're doing something on a non-performative level. You are doing it from it's a different realm. It's a different conversation that I think needs to be out there. So if this was any and all affirmation, I've been very moved by you, our conversation, and you know what you do.
you know, I've always had a calling to get into um, queuing. I call myself
I
Q.
love that. What I was going to ask you about that, but that's amazing. You cue people, you give them the permission. You give them the permission. Sometimes people just need that cue in life.
Yeah, yeah. And the Q has to come from a source they believe.
That's right.
So I was aware that fulfilling a multitude of roles would increase that belief. If I rap, that would encourage the belief in the rapper. If I get into the directing position, that would encourage the director. If I get into the interpreter, the medium, these different multitudes allow the belief factor to increase, so that it's not for you to believe in me, it's for you to believe in yourself. But just allow me to cue in that belief.
And then the person gets to choose their own adventure, whatever medium connects with them.
Because those are quote unquote in charge are lack of imagination. This is why things don't change.
Oh, Q, God bless you, my friend. Well, listen, I can't wait to continue this conversation, and I'm really appreciative of your time today. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Age, artists and bands struggle to make a living. In fact, only a small number of artists can live off their craft. For the 98% of artists that don't have the luxury of being signed to a label, it's tough. But artists deserve to live off their art. Wherever you are around the world, appreciation of music does not change. FENIX brings bands and their fans together, whilst allowing bands to properly monetize their passion. The FENIX app will directly connect bands and fans with no need for middlemen. We're utilizing the blockchain to give the power back to the artist once and for all. Join FENIX, join the change.